Hello, this is the Trudy Haynes Show. I'm Trudy. Welcome. And I want to tell you, we're going to have a pretty good show. Mike Dennis from Real Black Productions is on hand to tell you how and when he's going to start bringing more black films into Philadelphia. You're going to meet country western singer Josie Brandon, and she's teamed up with our credit counselor, Pearl Poto, and they're talking about love and peace. And Kathy Lee and her guest, Gregory Cook, uncover the invisible warriors. Those are the gals who worked during World War II of color. And you're going to meet a lot of them right here on the Trudy Haynes Show. But first, we're going to take you around the town and starting off with Zumba. Well, it was one way to keep warm, doing the Zumba. Hundreds gathered together outside Love Park to do the popular dance. But it was for a very important cause, not only to have fun and keep warm, but these enthusiastic dancers are actually making a statement.
So 1 Billion Rising, is a global movement to end violence against women. And we in Philadelphia are taking part of this. Eve Ensler, who started this initiative, asked us to partner with her. It's happening all over the world in over 182 countries, and we in Philadelphia are just proud to be part of it. It is time to stand up and say, we've had enough. 1 in 3 women globally will be beaten or raped in her lifetime, and enough is enough.
Who's we?
We, Women's Way, and all the women who've come here today. Incredible women who've come here today. Thank you.
Well, this was a full Black History Month, so much going on that we missed some of it, but we caught others, and we hope everyone learned something new this month. The Philadelphia Tribune's honor luncheon held at the Sheraton on the Parkway was one of the highlights of the month, a time when we really got to see historic legends, networking and catching up with old times. Probably the most historic moment was when our 3 black mayors united for a photo. Michael Nutter, John Street, and Wilson Good. Now that's what we call living history. Another highlight of the month, the annual African American Children's Book Fair at Community College, attended by hundreds who return annually to see and buy books for the children in schools and households. And not only for the children, but Mama collected a few herself. More than 10 authors of the 21 featured attended the affair, and it was up close and personal and touch for many of them who even shared storytelling. Some of our city's VIPs, including Karen Warrington, volunteered time to hold an amateur fashion show for the youngsters. Director and founder of the event since 1992, Vanessa Lloyd-Scambati, realizes the continuing need for this event.
But it's a blessing to have an African American Children's Book Fair here in Philadelphia. As you can see, the city is really, really in need of it. We've got some engaging, enlightening, and empowering literature here, the best and the brightest from the African American community, and some wonderful sponsors who've partnered with me to make this event happen.
You're going to continue?
Oh, absolutely. Until the stilettos go, I'll still be pushing books.
Over at City Council session, the 100th anniversary of Delta Sigma Theta sorority was being honored with the attendance of presidents of many chapters and members throughout the city and suburbs. Most of the prestigious black sorority, whose first chapter was founded at Howard University, and which now has chapters all over the world. Followed by council honoring living legends, which assembled a variety of old-timers who were still doing wonders in their fields as living legends. You probably recognize some or all who have devoted much of their adult lives to making for a better life in their communities and this city of brotherly love, including one of Philadelphia's red hat divas, Emma Chappelle, one of Philadelphia's founders of our United Bank, still in existence and serving our community. Well, Philadelphia's well-known fashion designer Ron Wilch has gotten the go-ahead from the city to set the opening tone for the city's annual Fashion Week in September. Ron is already planning a 3-day extravaganza featuring fashions from and by Philadelphians as well as visitors, entertainment, contests, and prizes. It will be held at Leocora Center, where he held a production meeting with an assembled crew, including some of Trudy Haynes' TV show Gems. So watch for more on this show. I'm talking to Mike Dennis, who is really, he's the founder and producer, I guess, and editor and everything else for Real Black Films. But what I like about him is that he is progressive, and he's always out of the box. By that I mean you're doing things that most of us don't do, don't cover. And right now you're initiating a project, which is a little unusual in this area and very provocative. What is it?
Well, we have a new project called Black Film Now that we're currently raising funds for on Indiegogo. It's a documentary about the current state of African American film. There hasn't been a documentary about African American film in over a decade, but more has happened in the last 10 years in African American film than possibly in the entire history of cinema before that. So we're taking the footage that we have in our archive, and we're going to compile that along with some new interviews to sort of bring people up to date, to sort of update our roadmap, give black filmmakers and audiences an idea of where we are, what it's taken for us to get here, and where we can go in the future.
How far back do you go?
Well, we started Real Black TV in 2006. So over that period of time, we've amassed over 400 clips on YouTube. And within that footage, there's a lot of interviews with talented actors and filmmakers and producers. And one of our go-to questions that we always ask is, what do you think the current state of African American film is? So we have a lot of really bright minds answering that topic.
African American cinema, independent cinema, is struggling.
Most young people who want to be filmmakers have no reference, no system of continuity.
It's kind of nerve-wracking not to know where we are in this window. Is it the beginning? Are we in the middle of it? Is it almost over?
Two questions. So what do you think about our progress and where we're going? And two, where can we see it?
Okay, well, we're still working on the film. So right now, we're in the process of raising funds. We're using Indiegogo.com to do a fundraiser. And our goal is to get as much money as possible in the kitty so that we can start going through the footage and do additional interviews. So hopefully it'll be done by the fall.
Where do they send it and how much are you looking for?
Oh, I'm sure it'll be right down here on the screen. Indiegogo.com/blackfilmnow, or if you're watching after March 10th, you can find out how to support by going to realblack.com. That's REELBLACK.com.
And how much are you looking for? I mean, from what would be a normal kind of a contribution? Anything?
Well, I mean, if you contribute $10, you can get your name in the credits. If you contribute $25, you can get your name in the credits and a ticket to the premiere. And if you live outside the Philadelphia area, for $50, you get your name in the credits and a DVD or a digital download of the film. So that's the base. And then it goes all the way up to $20,000 if you want to. You feel like executive producing this?
When is the preview?
Well, hopefully we'll have something ready to screen by the end of this year. But we're concurrently working on another project called Last Night at the Five Spot, which we also hope to have in festivals by the end of this year as well. So depending on how well things go as far as the fundraising and creating an opportunity for us to travel, either we'll definitely have something by the end of the year to show people, but
that'll be here in Philadelphia?
It could be a lifelong journey. Black Film Now, it's always changing. You know, so the hope is that we can build a franchise around this and really sort of do our own oral histories of African American film.
And the premiere is going to be here?
Absolutely, yeah. But you asked me another question about the current state.
Thinking, yeah.
I think it's growing. It's really exciting. Like I said, more has happened in the last 10 years than ever, and more people are making films. It's just we don't have this roadmap. Like people are operating on, like everybody knows there's an internet. Everybody can make films cheaper, but how do we make them smarter? You know, if we don't talk to one another. So for the last 6 years or so, you know, me and my partner Craig, we've had opportunities to interview lots of people that have ideas about this. So it's not just my perception of it, but I hope to discover a lot more. And we're always, every time we meet somebody and talk to them, you know, we discover more, and our goal is to share that information with people.
African American themed films and highlighting and showcasing African American talent are making more money than ever before, but there's not quite the diversity of voices telling our stories that we need.
What I tell my students who want to become filmmakers, who want to race into Hollywood, check why you want to be there.
People say, oh, Kimberly, I wish you could see you so much more. I wish I could see you so much more. I'm like, You don't want to see me so much more because you'd see me in a lot of things you wouldn't really like.
How do people get in touch with you, or would it make sense to get in touch with you if they think they've got something to?
Well, if you see me on the street, don't stop me. I'm probably busy. But you can always go online. If you Google Real Black, you'll find us on Facebook, you'll find us on Twitter, you'll find our YouTube channel, and you'll find our website. And I check all that stuff every day.
And if people do need encouragement about producing their own thing, would you help them?
That's why we're making the film.
Okay.
That's why we're making the film, to get the information out. I mean, we've learned a lot in the last 6 years of doing this, and a lot of wisdom's come through our camera, and we just want to share with more people. But yeah, we do events. We're part of the Philadelphia Black Film Alliance, Philly BFAC, and our mission there is to make Philadelphia a better place for African American filmmakers.
I had a hard time getting this guy on the phone. He is busy, busy, busy. But what I like about him, he will take time to help you and to talk to you, to guide you, and it's nice of you to do that. Right. Really swell. Thank you very much, Mike Dennis.
It's war. Did you know that World War II became the pivotal historical event in American history that motivated and created the necessity for thousands of black women, your grandmothers and my mother, to walk out of their domestic jobs, drop their brooms and mops, and pick up riveters, assemble bombs, assemble airplanes, and work in shipping yards, all to help the war effort. This is Kathy Lee, and welcome to Hidden Footprints.
During World War II, my mother, Ethel Rebecca Jones, sat for hours on her suitcase riding a train from Norfolk, Virginia to Washington, D.C. She was 18 years old and eager to start her first job as a clerk typist in the U.S. Patent Office. Thousands of black women like Mom left home for job opportunities in factories, in the military, and in government offices. Their jobs were never easy, their workplaces were often dirty and sometimes even dangerous. Jim Crow dogged them at home and abroad. But in the end, my mother and these other warriors triumphed. They changed their own lives, they changed the lives of their families, and they changed the nation. Invisible Warriors is their story.
I was among the 1,000 Negro women going overseas.
We as women, we had to keep the home front up because many of us did the jobs that they said only the men had done.
So when we got there, he looked at us, and we were all maybe 100 pounds apiece. He decided that we could be riveters.
I was hired by the General Accounting Office as a clerk typist. That was my first job. I was proud to get that job.
I went to sheet metal school for about 6 to 8 weeks. After graduation from there, I went to the Navy Yard and worked in Dry Dock 5 on a flat top USS Valley Forge.
Getting that first paycheck with an account number or clock number and my name on it and opening a bank account. Boy, you really feel like you're rich, that you own houses and land.
You felt like you were doing something to help your country.
Washington was deeply segregated. It was so segregated that You had the feeling that you were in a foreign country.
If we went downtown, we couldn't eat at the restaurants with everybody else. We had to stand aside in a lunch counter to be served.
GAO had a typing pool, a big room that was divided. They had blacks on one side and whites on the other.
When I sat down, the rest of the black women that came up with me, they sat down. Nobody was working.
When time came for promotion, the whites were given a grade 3 promotion. They did not promote the blacks.
There was a hard time getting women in the services. And then when women were accepted, then to have women of color was another whole task.
We were going to register for the SPARS, which is the Coast Guard. And I was hurt that day because I was not accepted. Monica was, and I was told in front of my face that we cannot accept you because you're black.
I went to apply for a job at a lady's home, and I went to her back door. And she asked me, why did you come to the back door? And I told her, well, everywhere else that I'd been in Jersey, you had to go in the back door. She said, not here, you come in the front door. And that was in West Oak Lane. Jewish lady, her name was Hutkin. World War II let you see how things could really change.
Eastern Aircraft at that time was completely integrated, and was the first time I really had ever sat down to eat in a completely integrated institution in my life.
We can do it. In fact, we've done it.
Invisible Warriors is a vital piece of American history that needs to be saved and cherished. These warriors are our mothers, grandmothers, and great-grandmothers. They deserve our respect and recognition for jobs well done. They, too, are members of the greatest generation. Your generous contributions will allow broadcast audiences and students across our great nation to enjoy their stories. Thanks for watching.
You know, I never gave this much thought, but after watching this preview of Invisible Warriors being created by Gregory Cook, I missed the opportunity to even talk to my own grandmother, who worked in factories during the war while 2 of her children were off fighting. I truly wish that I had asked her more questions about that, but that's why they were invisible. Many of you have grandparents and great-grandparents out there, and you never thought that they were involved in the war effort. But these women broke down barriers for their children and their children's children. See you next time. But before I forget, if you want to learn more about these Invisible Warriors, please go to www.invisiblewarriors.com. Until then, see you next time on Hidden Footprints.
Don't be a fool and fall in love.
The song you just heard is an introduction to my guest, one of my guests today, the country western singer who is known all over this country. And unfortunately, I am not a country western admirer, but I certainly appreciate this young lady coming on our show because we almost have an exclusive that she's here on the Trudy Haynes Show, and with Pearl Poto, our credit guru. And how the two of them got together is a story in itself. But they're together for a united reason, which we're going to learn about today. Pearl, I want to welcome you back to the Trudy Haynes Show.
Great being back.
And we're not going to talk about credit today.
No, not today.
Except that it's a credit that you have this young lady with you. So
Exactly. Well, you want me to hold the microphone? Okay. Let me say something. I do credit, as you know, a credit expert, and how I ran across Josie. Josie was on a mission on her own as a singer and songwriter of country, but she was on a mission, and the mission was there's many divorced people out there that has credit problems, and she's trying to help them in another field. And I'm saying to myself, all these people also have credit problems, so why not join forces and help the country out with these people that are breaking up marriages? And what happens when you break up marriages? They all fall apart, they have credit problems, they lose their homes and everything else. And here I do the credit, and she does the expertise on that field. So we joined forces, and I thought we have to give ourselves a name. We just can't say Josie and Pearl are out to help you. So we have to give ourselves a name, and we did. We chose the great name, the Guardian Angels of Justice and Peace. Justice because of the court systems, because of the banks, because of the laws, and peace because of the harmony with the divorces. So
introduces Josie. Now, harmony. Yeah. How did you get involved in this project?
Well, I've always been involved with doing things for the community. That's just part of who I am. It's part of the DNA. But as far as this project is we were talking on the phone about all the things that we've been doing for years with helping people. And one of the things I give back to with my organization is helping people going through hardship. And so we found that there was something in common. People going through credit.
She doesn't sing.
Yes, I do.
Well, you know, the songs that I write are all about authenticity, about things we feel and experience. And oftentimes people are so afraid of being judged. They're afraid of what people are going to think about them. And what we want to do is we want to eliminate that judgment and let them to see that there are solutions that exist for them without judgment. There are people here to help them. There's resources available to them that are going to be able to get them through the hardship. She does the credit part. The part where I come in is to talk to people about their spirits and that they were already created with greatness. God created them, and so you don't let your credit report define you. God has already defined you. He's defined you as being infinite and beautiful and perfect in every way, and so we're trying to combine that so people don't have reoccurring problems with their credit.
Mm-hmm. Now, this is called the Guardian Angels of Peace and Justice and Peace. Justice and Peace. All right. Now, if someone was interested in that, where would they get further information?
They could go right directly to the website. We have it's www.guardianangelsofjusticeandpeace.com.
And Pearl, you said, or both of you have said that this is going to be global. How are you going to do that?
Well, we start with the people here. We start with the people in this country to start off with. We want to make changes where the people see they're not in the dark with their credit, with their relationships, and with their judgmentals, what everybody's judging them with. They're not going to lose their homes. They're not going to lose their marriages if they don't have to, if they look at life in a different way. Now, this starts in the United States, but you know overseas they want to get everything that the United States is doing. So we don't mind going overseas to different countries to let it spread worldwide, global-wide.
And you know, you asked the question, how are we doing it globally? You know, God is so wondrous because when you put things out with pure intent and you're out there talking about it, you draw people to you. We've drawn people from all over the country, leaders that are willing to put the ego aside and let the truth come in of how to help people, which is really giving them the path, the directions, giving them solutions, so that, you know, because we're trying to eliminate all the negativity that's out there of information that's not accurate. People think there's no hope. People think that once there's something on their credit, they have to wait 7 years or whatever the laws are that say how many years you have to wait. When we know in reality, if you go to the right people, it can get restored within 30 to 60 days. Most people don't know that. They've been conditioned to believe certain things. So what we're doing around the country is letting them see through leadership, through the right resources, that there are solutions that exist. You don't have to wait 7 years. Some things can be changed immediately. Mindset can be changed in a moment. So that's what we're bringing to the community, and that's what we're bringing around the entire country.
Well, of course, we need all of this. How do we get started? What do we do?
We've already started. We've already started. We started today. We started with we have the toll-free. We started with the website. Now it's just the people joining forces, setting the seminars up, and we've already started. Now the rest is going to be up to the people and us getting to the people.
And the thing is that because we are merging with a better world, those resources, that information, how people get started. Once they go to the website, there will be links on there. They'll know where they can go in their communities because it will be global. We'll talk about, the site will offer which communities, which leaders are within each community. They'll have all that information. So that will all be continued to be built onto the site.
Now, of course, you gave your website. Pearl, I know you're anxious. Tell people.
No, let me tell you something. Here's what we did. We went a little bit step further because the website she's talking about is the link to my website. They don't even have to think. They don't have to ask questions. The link to the Guardian Angels of Justice and Peace, there's a link there that pushes right to my website.
Okay, now, people don't have to come up with any financing or anything like that? Or, I mean, what are the criteria?
The criteria is you're looking for hope. If you're looking for hope, go to the website. And that website will lead you to where you need to be next. There's going to be people that can help. We have leaders from all over the country. We're not letting money or anything become an obstacle. We're letting the door be open, and there will be a way for everyone to be a part of the mission.
Now, this is peace for your soul and for your mind and for your spirit, and not necessarily for your, well, that does evolve into your finances, is what you're trying to say. Is this what you're trying to tell people?
Yes, the renewal of your mind and the renewal of your spirit will create your financial world.
You're not going to forget us. Let me tell you, you're not going to forget Josie and Pearl because, Trudy, you have the exclusive here that it started right here. You have the exclusive.
Yes.
And you're going to remember this day. I hope everybody remembers this day.
Well, we certainly want to thank Pearl Poto for bringing this exclusive to the Trudy Haynes Show. And Josie, we welcome you to Philadelphia. We'll hope that you'll come back very, very soon. In the meantime, enjoy her music, and we can find that on your...
If they want to look up the music, they can go to JosieBrandonMusic.com. They'll find the videos, all the information. But what we're talking about today is the Guardian Angels of Justice and Peace.
Peace to all of you. Thank you. Well, I'm sorry we have to go now, but remember to like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Twitter, and watch us on lifeandspiritonline.com, and have a blessed day. See ya. Hello, I'm Trudy Haynes, and I produce this show.
And so what? I'm Kathy Lee, and I help.
Well, you know, you too can get involved with the Trudy Haynes Show for less than $50.
It's even less if you go, see that? You made me mess up again.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Because I just wanted to say it's even less on lifeandspiritonline.com.
So come on, get involved and let your message get out all over the tri-state area.
By going to TrudyHaynesShow.com or by calling 215-241-8773.
And that's just a click away.
And a whistle, too. Call us.